Good evening.
Hello, good day. Good evening po, Doc. Good evening, Josh.
Hindi po.
So now we're going to discuss the integration involving trigonometric functions. So as shared in the video here, where we have the double angle formulas, the power reduction formulas, and the basic formulas for integration. So we'll be using these formulas in solving the sample problems. Okay. So our first problem is the integral of cosine cube x dx. Okay. How do we approach the problem? First, you would separate cosine cube x into two parts, wherein one should be or one could be the derivative of the other. Okay, so let us separate it. Let's get one as cosine squared x and the other as cosine x dx. Okay, so one should be the derivative of the other. Now, using the trigonometric identities, cosine squared theta from the Pythagorean theorem, okay, identities, is equal to 1 minus sine squared theta. Or writing the formula, it is sine squared x plus cosine squared x is equal to 1. So these are trigonometric identity. So solving for cosine squared x or isolating cosine squared x, cosine squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x. Okay. Now we substitute the value of this to cosine squared x. So we have the integral of 1 minus sine squared x multiplied by cosine x dx. Now we assign our u and our derivative of u or du. So let's say we let u be equal to the sine of x. Therefore, the derivative of sine x or du is equal to cosine x dx. Okay, now changing these values to our u and du values, we have the integral of quantity 1 minus u squared multiplied by your cosine x dx is equal to your du. So this will be du. Okay, now integrating this, distributing du, so we have du, integral of du is equal to u, and then minus we have u squared du, so that is integral of u squared du. It is u cubed over 3 plus c. Okay, so the final step will be again changing the values of u into their proper values, which is sine x and cosine x dx, but only u is needed. So we have u as sine x plus u cube over 3. So that is equal to sine raised to 3 of x over 3 plus c. Okay, so the antiderivative or the integral of cosine cube x dx is equal to sine x plus sine cube x over 3 plus c. So hopefully you understood the solution, Josh.
Opo.
Okay, so try to solve the other problem. Just follow the method I used.
Okay po. Separate the cosine 5x.
Okay, so same value. Cosine squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x from the identities.
Let u equals sine x. Cancel.
Okay.
Technology.
Hahaha.
Technology, na engineer.
Pa.
Technology. Na-adjust eh.
Ngayon dati yan. Maganda nga.
Substituting sin x as u.
Louder.
Okay. Nice. So the antiderivative of integral of cosine to the fifth x dx is equal to sine x minus 2 sine cube x over 3 plus sine to the fifth x over 5 plus c. Okay, so that's correct, Josh. Very good. Think we could go to another problem. Let's try the one with two functions, cosine and sine. Although I think this one is much easier than the second problem.
Ito hindi, ito,
Okay.
hectic lang yung ano namin eh. Ito, meron ito yung, hindi pa nga namin napapa-copyright eh. Ito yung kinumpose ni Josh, engineer eh.
Oh, I just wrote it again. Sorry.
Okay.
Let u equals cosine x.
Okay.
Cancel. Oh, okay.
Okay. So the reason why we didn't split cosine to the fifth x is because there's already a sine, okay,
Opo.
multiplied by cosine to the fifth. So you did not split the cosine to the fifth.
Substituting cosine x as u.
Okay, so that is negative cosine to the 6 x over 6 and plus. Actually, this is quite simpler than the second problem since it already has the sign that the derivative of cosine. Okay, we did not show or that we did not to convert cosine into sine. Okay, so this problem is quite simple. Okay, next problem, I think it's quite complicated than that. Okay. I think it's problem number 4, Josh, since I solved the problem number 1. Okay, now in this case, if you have two functions, sine and cosine, you should select the one with the add exponential value to be separated.
Opo. So, let's do that. Separating sine 5x.
Lang
Sides
si Josh.
different.
Hindi na nasasabi ko. Use all. Ito sa dulo mo. Para magamit mo yung space na.
Using the identity sa Pythagorean identity and substitute sine squared theta, which is this is sine to the fourth theta or sine squared theta.
Josh, erase that part first. Okay. At least there's an explanation. Okay, Josh, arrange it first.
Arrange.
Cosine squared x and then sine x. And then dx. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now, Josh, it's still dx, not yet du, since you haven't changed your cosine into u. Yeah.
Yeah, substitute cosine x into u.
Okay.
Oh, there's a negative. Substituting the u back into cosine x.
Okay, negative. Hindi pa kumasya yung C dun sa dulo. Hindi pa kumabot.
Diba? Tama ba siya? Tama siya.
Okay. Tama. Okay, so that is negative cosine cube x over 3 plus 2 cosine to the 5th x over 5 minus cosine to the 7th x over 7 and plus C. Okay. So very good. Now, you have to trigonometric functions, both of them have odd powers. So you just select which one would you like to be divided for your du and your u.
Abo.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, separate the cosine.
Okay.
Let
Cosine x, Josh. Cosine x dx.
oh,
Josh, 5 ba yun? U to the 5th ba yun? Para 5 ba yun? Parang 6.
yeah.
10.
Ganda, di ba intindihan?
Letting u back into sine x.
Mukulang pa yung C talaga sa space, Josh. Di ko
Pinagkakasala.
ma- Di ko maabot. Okay. So that's correct. But you could also select sine to the 4th multiplied by sine x, the solution. Okay, but still correct. Okay, that's the 5th problem. Well, the next problem is sine squared x dx.
So, we will use the power reduction formula.
Formula. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yes, the C fit.
Wait, Josh. Wait. Derivative of cosine 2x. It's sine x 2x over 2.
Ah, and
So
this
that's
will be 4.
yes. Okay, so the correct answer. X over 2 minus sine 2x over 4 plus c.
Yes.
Ah.
So try to remember that no, the antiderivative or the integral of cosine x is equal to sine x. But if there's a value with x numerical value, let's say 4x, the antiderivative is equal to sine 4x then with the denominator of the numerical value of the one being antiderivative or integrated. Okay, that's problem number. Okay, next is cosine cube 3x dx. To the fourth, sine to the fourth.
Opo.
Okay. Okay. So maybe I'll try to solve this one. Okay, sine. Wait, there's something wrong with
Okay. Napalipat ka.
my system. Yeah. Okay. So let's try to solve this one. I think it's quite long, so I'll just make my letters a little smaller. Okay, so it is the integral of sine to the fourth x dx. Okay, so I will be converting this into integral of sine squared x squared dx. Okay, so I made it sine squared x for me to apply the reduction formula. Okay, so now it is squared. So the formula is given before. So it is 1/2 multiplied by quantity 1 minus cosine 2x. Now, if it is sine, the sign of the cosine is negative. If it's cosine, the sign of cosine in the parenthesis is positive. Okay, so this will become 1/2 multiplied by 1 minus cosine. Okay, 2x squared dx. Okay, so it's always nice to remember or proper to remember that when it is sine, the sign of cosine is negative. If it's cosine squared, it is negative. Okay,
Opo.
so let's continue. So squaring it, it is integral of. So square of 1/2 is 1/4. Okay, so 1/4. Then quantity 1 minus cosine squared 2x squared dx. Okay, just substituting it. Okay, so let's multiply 1 minus cosine 2x multiplied by 1 minus cosine 2x. And 1/4 will be out of the integration sign. So 1/4, put it out there. So this will become, I won't be cutting the solution. So it is 1 minus cosine 2x multiplied by 1 minus cosine 2x and then dx. Okay, so okay ba Josh?
Opo.
Okay pa yung solution niya? Okay, wait. So now, I will be multiplying them. So this is equal to 1. 1/4 integral of 1 minus 2 cosine 2x. Okay, and then plus cosine squared 2x. 2x. And then, yes. Okay, so in this solution, makikita natin, we could still see that cosine squared 2x can still be transformed, or we can still use the reduction formula in this cosine. Now, I'll be writing it here on this side. Doc, okay ba dito? Can you still see it here?
Yes.
Okay. So it is, the formula for cosine is 1/2 multiplied, okay, without, I won't cut the solution.
Engineer, can you please adjust the camera?
Okay po, okay po. Okay, Doc. Okay, I'll just write it here na lang, Doc, okay? Para, then I'll just continue on this side. Okay, so cosine squared 2x, okay, is also equal to 1/2 multiplied by 1 plus cosine 2x. Okay. So then, if it is 2x and then cosine x lang, yung cosine squared, so this will become 4. Okay, so this will become 4. In x, pag x siya, that is 1 plus cosine, let's say this one. So sine x is 1 minus cosine 2x. Okay, so sine x. Okay, 1x lang siya. So it is cosine 2x. Now in this case, it is cosine squared 2x. Therefore, 2, therefore it is multiplied by 2. So this will become 4. Okay, hopefully that's clear. If it is sine squared x, then it is cosine 2x. Now it is here, it is 2x. Therefore, you multiply 2 to the value of cosine 2x. Therefore, it becomes 4x. Okay, so that's how it became 4x. Okay, now let us try this again here. I'll be distributing the 1/2. So it is 1/4 integral of 1, quantity 1, 2 cosine 2x, and then plus. Okay, so multiplying 1/2, it is 1/2. Okay, plus cosine 4x, sorry, cosine 4x over 2. Okay. So, is it clear, Josh?
Hindi nakita yung sa bandang pinaka-right. Cosine
Okay,
4
okay, okay.
4x
Okay.
over 2
And Doc.
x. Okay. Kita na
Can you see, Doc?
kita na po.
Okay ba? Medyo mali din kasi dito sa monitor yung ako hindi ko masyadong nakita rin yung sa akin.
Okay na siya.
We're getting old na, Doc. Mga mata natin medyo
Okay, yes.
mali na nakikita. Okay. Medyo hindi ko na makikita masyado. Okay. So, that is 1/2 plus cosine 4x. Okay. And then meron pang, I forgot yung dx. Yan. Okay. Now we can integrate them. So 1/4 multiplied by, this is quantity. So dx and x tayo dito. Or wait, I think I would combine like terms, or I would combine yung constant kasi may 1 pala dito tsaka may 1/2. Okay, so combine ko muna. So this will become negative 2 cosine 2x plus 1 and 1/2. So it is 3/2. Okay. Plus cosine 4x over 2. Yun. Dx. Okay, so I just combined yung 1 at saka yung 1/2. Okay, so pareho naman silang constant. Okay, so now we would integrate them. Okay, so there's still integration sign. I just combined the two numerical values. Okay, now we integrate. So this is 1/4 multiplied by quantity. So negative. Okay, so negative 2. Okay, cosine derivative, sorry, antiderivative is sine. Okay, sine 2x. Now, since may 2 doon, therefore may denominator ka rin na 2. Now, 3/2 times dx is 3/2 x. Okay. And then cosine again. Okay, so I think I'll separate yung 2 muna, no? Para maging 1/2. Okay, plus 1/2. And then cosine of 4x is equal to sine. Can you still see it here? 4x over 4.
Kita pa.
Kita pa, yan. Kita. Medyo lumilit na yung ano niya. Okay, so pwedeng mag-cancel ng 2.
Plus ano yun? Plus C yan?
Plus C, Doc. Sorry, plus C. Yan, hindi na kasi yung space. Yan. Okay. So, ayusin ko lang yung format niya. So, it is 1/4 multiplied by quantity. Unahin ko to. 3/2 x. Litan ko ng konti. Minus, this is, wala na siyang 2. No? Natagal na yung 2 niya sa baba. So, minus sine 2x na lang. Okay. And then, plus, this is sine 4x over 8. Yun. Plus C. Now, I think we could share this answer. If not, you could distribute yung 1/4. It will be 3/4 x minus sine 2x over 4 and then plus sine 4x over 32. So this is our final answer. Just remember, let's say in this part, Okay, you could still see that this function can still be reduced or you can use the reduction formula. Okay, so kumbaga hindi pa tapos. Tingnan mo kung meron pang pwedeng gamitan ng formula. Okay, Josh, is it clear?
Opo.
The solution clear? Okay. So I think the next problem is still reduction. Try it first. Okay, sine to the fourth. So next problem, sine squared, cosine squared. Now, both of them have even numbers, so both of them can be, you can use the reduction formula in both of them.
Okay. So I'll just use the reduction formulas on hindi nga po, both of them. Uh, we can move these 1/2 out of the integral sign. Using the a squared minus b squared formula, we can contract this into
Okay.
1 minus cosine squared 2x.
Okay, difference of
Using
2
the
squared.
trigonometric identities, this will just be
Okay.
okay.
Okay, 1/2.
I will apply the power reduction formula again.
Okay, 4x na siya.
We can put this 1/2 out din po. Okay.
Cosine.
Now
Okay.
we can simplify it. We can evaluate the integral. Over 4. Here's the 4.
Okay.
Plus C.
Okay. So it's correct. This is our last problem. This is the last problem, Josh. There's one more. Okay, I think you can do this. It's quite simple. We can cancel out using trigonometric functions.
Okay, so everybody hates tangents, so we
Wait,
will
Josh, do you still have the last answer, the last question for the last question?
ano po?
Go back.
Could you go back to the last problem? Yes, okay. Okay, okay. I thought you forgot the C. Okay.
Apo. Aha. Everybody hates tangents, so I will just remove this tangent. Become by ay wrong color.
Okay.
Wait. There's no space on it. Sin x. We can break down this sine cube x. Okay,
Okay.
now, so I'll just put it above. Let u equals cosine x. So du will be equal to negative sine x, and then dx will be equal to
Oh, wait. Negative sine x dx.
haba.
Okay. Move the dx. Okay.
Dx equals du over negative sine x.
Okay.
Substitution.
But you still have two signs in the numerator. There's still sine squared and sine.
Haba.
Okay.
So we can use the trigonometric identities to make this to simplify this sine x squared. Not really simplify, but to convert the sine
Yes,
squared
convert.
into cosine sine x cosine x dx equals ah substitute the cosines with the u. 1 minus u squared. I'll just separate the sine x times du over negative sine x. Cancel. Okay. Okay, we can now progress.
Okay. Natural logarithm of the absolute value of u plus v squared over 2 plus c. Okay, one more step.
We can wait lang po, I will just make this
Smaller.
genius technology. Okay, now replace the u with cosines. Ln cos x plus cos squared x over 2 plus c.
Okay.
The
So
cyan
the final answer is natural logarithm of the absolute value of cosine x plus cosine squared x over 2 plus c. Okay, so I think we could call it day, Josh. We will be discussing other topics next meeting. I think you're familiar now with solving these kinds of problems in indefinite integrals. Okay, so I think that's all.
aba.
Thank you,
I'll see you
engineer.
again next
Sige po.
meeting. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye
Bye-bye
po.
po.
Bye.